All right, Scott. So why do people want to become entrepreneurs?
Oh, we have so many great reasons. Oh, so many great
We're going to
answers.
rapid fire because there's a lot of reasons.
Rapid fire.
I am an entrepreneur. I'm going to tell you why I love it.
I'm a business owner. I'm not an entrepreneur.
All right, let's go there. What's up with that? You don't call yourself an entrepreneur.
Well, because it's got such a pretentious sounding name to it, and it sounds more important. Plus, we've already talked about how some people are just kind of working for themselves and their own business and not necessarily entrepreneurs. I know you've read books. What's the name of it?
The E-Myth Revisited.
Although you didn't read it, you listened to it.
I listened to it.
But yeah, why do? And I would just say right off the bat, this is just me, but I think people like to be their own boss. They like to run their own show. They don't want anybody telling them when they got to be in or when they got to leave. They want to do their own thing. Is that one of the bullet points?
That's number one.
Be my own boss. There it is.
Ding, 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 ding.
Rapid fire. Here we go.
Be my own boss. Okay, so number two, an innate desire to create. I believe that we all have this desire, and maybe there's exceptions out there, but being a business owner really allows you to create. There was a short stint where I had a sales job, and I saw some things that the company was doing, and I had some ideas, and I wanted to contribute and put these ideas forth, and I shared some of the ideas, and it wasn't my place to share them. I was put back into my place. I'm not meant to be an employee because I like to create. I like to take my ideas and roll with it. And even though I make mistakes a lot, and even though a lot of my ideas crash and burn, some of my ideas have really worked out well, and it's really
And now you have
fulfilling.
your own employees who probably someday will be their own.
If they watch my videos and follow my advice,
Oh,
absolutely.
they're watching them. They've got to watch
They
them.
edit them, they polish them.
Bullet number
point
three.
Number three, we want to become entrepreneurs because it's a challenge.
Ooh, do we need to be challenged?
I like, for some reason, it's kind of a weird thing, but I like to take the hard road.
Yeah.
I've just discovered that about myself. I like to do things the hard way. It's kind of like I know that I'm going to grow from it. I know that I'm going to
That's
learn
the word
from it.
right there. Yeah, grow, develop, change, improve, progress, and all of that, the kind of the opposition you find and the challenges and the wanting to be challenged, it helps us.
Because I will not shy away from the fact that I've had this company, we're at nine years now. I think 9 years this month or next month. It hasn't been smooth sailing.
Sure.
It's been a very rough road. Lots of ups and downs financially. Lots of stress at times. So much stress that I developed an ulcer. Don't know if it was exactly the stress, but I've definitely experienced a lot of stress. So why did I put myself through that? Why didn't I just get a job, as a lot of people would have recommended? Hey, why don't you just get a job?
It's a good question. I argue with myself on that almost daily.
And the next point here is a big reason, big answer for me. It's we don't want to settle. Honestly, for me, getting a job is settling. It's like settling for below my potential because I know that I can do more. I know that I can achieve more things than just being, and I don't mean to insult people that choose to be an employee.
Right.
But for me,
Well,
it's settling.
It's okay to say that. I mean, the question today is, why do people want to become entrepreneurs, or why do they become entrepreneurs? And that is a legitimate and honest answer, even though there may be others that are watching going, I have never felt that a day in my life. Companies need employees. I love my job. I love what I do. They pay me fair. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason within you, that's your feeling that it feels like you're settling if you sign on with someone rather than being the signer.
Like, for example, a few years into my business, there was a time where financially hit some hard times, had to borrow some money from family, and I got posed that question, why don't you just get a job? And I looked back at the previous few years and just thought, but I've grown so much, I've learned so much, I've experienced so much
you
in
paid
these last
them back?
3 years. Of course.
Okay, I'm just saying.
And I
Then
look
we're
back
fine.
and I think, but if I get a job, it's like all these 3 years of hard work is wasted. It's like, that's how I felt. It's like,
Okay.
But I've grown
It's
so much.
probably
I've created
not
so much.
rational, but you. I mean, the fact is you wouldn't have wasted anything if you had to have gotten a job. You could have, but luckily you didn't have to. Things worked out beautifully. All right, next bullet.
Big one, freedom of time. I mean, that's a big one. We get to control our schedule.
You've got kids, you've got activities, hobbies, interests. You want to have, yeah.
Like I like to go running. I like to go snowshoeing in the winter. And if I want to go, if it's a hot summer day, I like to go mountain biking in the morning when it's cool. And a lot of people, they get up, they shower, they go to work. They can't go mountain biking in the morning. I get to.
Yeah.
Or if there's something that my kid's doing at his school, there's the spring program or whatnot. I don't have to get time off or request permission to leave work, or maybe there's a doctor appointment or something that I want to do. I control my schedule. I have freedom of time.
Yes, that's true. To some extent. I mean, you can say no, and you can, because no one's going to fire you. However, you do have deliverables that are on a schedule, and you have places to be and stuff to do that you can't
if we were to
risk.
make a video about the disadvantages of being an entrepreneur, is you've got to be your own boss. You've got to have the discipline. You've got to keep a schedule.
Yeah, those don't sound positive.
Let's move on.
You can make more money.
Yeah, higher potential income is the point that I made there.
Or at least, maybe not more, but you have flexibility in terms of income. I mean, you don't want to make less, but
So
you could.
let's be open here. The first 8 years of my business, had I been an employee, I would have made more money. 8 years. 8 years. But year 9, I don't think I would have ever made this much money as an employee. I don't know what job I could have done, even if I were a surgeon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe surgeons make good. I don't know.
I don't know what surgeons make. They seem to make good money. Yeah. So the potential to make more money, it's true. You're really only limited by how much work you put in or the connections you make or how much. People always say that you can make as much or as little as you want. The realist in me says BS. Really, I can't make as much as I want. But you can to some degree. I mean, the sky is somewhat the limit. But in contrast to that, there is a limit when you are an employee. There's always a limit. Yeah. Even if you become CEO and they pay you outrageous, ungodly amounts of money, 1,000 times more than the average worker where you are, it's still a limit. Because the board isn't going to say, well, we're giving them $30 million a year and no more. I mean, it's still a limit, so technically.
All right, next one, tax advantages. Now, we're not going to get deep into this one, but if you don't understand how beneficial these are, this is quite amazing. Like this MacBook here, this is a business expense.
Of course.
I get to write it off on my tax because I use it for work. My team are in the Philippines. I just flew to the Philippines and back, round trip. I paid for an Airbnb.
That's all work.
All that stuff.
It's all business.
All that stuff was a business expense. I got to write it off, and it doesn't count on my personal taxes. I let my accountant kind of take care of the nitty-gritty of those details, but I keep track of all my business expenses, and I get to write those off. This room of this house is specifically used just for filming,
work.
just for
so
my
you
business.
can write off the whole cost of the
portion.
house. Yeah.
Not the whole cost of the house, no. But
Well,
he's like, I do.
out of my wife, she does the taxes. I don't remember what she does, but yeah.
All right, this one's important to me. I talk a lot about influence. As an entrepreneur, I put down I want to be an entrepreneur because I want the ability to influence. And this one really hit home to me in a bigger way when I got to meet my team in the Philippines. We were all sitting down together for dinner for the first time, having the whole team together, and I just thought I never really realized how much influence I have over this group of people.
Yeah.
One of them has been working with me for me for 8.5 years. Many of them for many, many years. And I just thought, wow, like I'm the reason that they're here in this room and I provide their livelihood. That's something that I hadn't thought of before. Did you get him?
I think you might have brought this gnat from the Philippines.
Uh-oh.
It's like a fruit fly because there's just a lot of little bugs there.
I didn't really see many bugs crawling on the ground, but not flying around.
Kidding. I got him though, yeah.
Okay, last one. Last point here. We want to be an entrepreneur. What did I write?
Solve a problem.
What do you think I mean by that?
I don't know.
You got a problem, I'll solve it.
Check out the hook. Want my DJ revolve it?
Ice, ice, baby.
And that's game. Thanks for coming. That was an elaborate way to get into a rap.
So we create solutions, right? If there's a problem out there and we know a way of fixing it, we can create a service, we can create a product to serve it. I think that's the reason why a lot of people get into business. They see a better way of doing things.
Yeah.
Maybe they were an employee of a company that's like, you know what, I could do it so much better. Right. So I think that's another reason why we become entrepreneurs.
Solve a problem.
So I'm sure there's a lot more things we could add to this list. And so I invite you, whether you're on YouTube or on LinkedIn, to leave a comment below about other reasons why you are an entrepreneur, why you think other people choose to be an entrepreneur and you don't. And we'll go from there. We'll see you tomorrow.